Multidisciplinary artist Peter von Tiesenhausen has an international reputation for his site-specific installations. His figurative sculptures activate the landscape, mysterious and haunting. His gallery installations transform as you move around them. In this case, from boat to human form, metamorphoses, perspectives. Peter von Tiesenhausen is known for his transitory works which incorporate nature and speak of the cycles of life and death. His art is inspired by a deep connection with the land he has lived on most of his life. It's in northwestern Alberta, near Hythe. Peter von Tiesenhausen, down to earth.
My father used to farm this land, and I guess in a sense I still do. Only I farm it for ideas. This is the first willow boat that I made. Right after building the fence around the house, this was the first project I made actually. Watching the snow drift around it and change and the grass wash into it and pull it down to the ground has been a real awakening for observation, you know. But Taxi, you gotta quit chewing on the damn thing. Get out of there. Come here. This ship, in all of its stages, has taught me so much about learning to let go of ideas, learning to suppress the ego, to let nature take its course, to acknowledge the beauty that is in nature. It's all there, you know? And just appreciate the incredible diversity that is in the land. I wanted to make a visual element that sort of bracketed my life. And I started building this fence, 8-foot sections every year for the rest of my life. 8 feet because it's, you know, standard measure of lumber in the yard, and paint it white only the one time. So now it's 11 years later, and the piece is showing, you know, signs of deterioration and growth. And it becomes somehow a reference to what turns out to be a very short life, even if I live to be an old man. And with the death that this thing somehow speaks of, it also speaks of the life that's coming new. This fence was created to keep the kids from wandering off into the bush. We didn't have much money, so we had to figure out a different way of building it. I mean, every culture in the world has worked with woven willows or sticks because it makes so much sense. And so that worked into the artwork, and it just made me more aware of where we were and how the materials fit with where we are. Come on. I grew up picking rocks with my father, and I hated it. Now I take them home. Physical work somehow makes you more honest, it seems. You feel like you've accomplished something, and your accomplishment is, in this case, very futile. It's a rock wall that runs from nowhere to nowhere. It's an effort that was only about connecting to the land. You can see sometimes the wind as it moves the trees there and then here and then there and then moves through. So it's like this little essence of the land drifts through. And if you didn't spend the time here, you wouldn't notice it. You gotta love this place. Just the way it glows, huh? I like it in all, when you see clouds moving across it, or if you see just as the leaves come down in the fall, it's like little, gold coins dropping down on you. And each one of those leaves takes a different path to the ground. And you realize that the world is so incredibly rich in visuals that you can never grasp it all. It took a long time to achieve that height. It's about 45 feet high. And so what you do is experience the forest as you're building it at slightly different level each time. And so the actual piece, which is this tunnel, which forces you to look up, was actually secondary to the experience of living in the forest. I'd be up there and the wind would go through the trees, and you'd experience the movement of this platform that you're on. And I guess you never get that chance really to experience that, and then to see the world from a place the way a bird might see it from its nest. Up here you can see the pods. And they were the first project I worked with that actually dealt with the height of the trees and just the feeling of this boreal forest that we live in. So here you can see the remnants of the last fire that went through about 100 years ago. They have led to the other the figurative sculptures that I've done. I mean, you can see how beautifully sculptural they are when you look up. Oh, here's one with a nest in it. Yeah, you think of the heat that ravaged through here, and now the growth that's come from that, these little islands of growth. I think it relates to what the work is about too, I think. God, that's just gorgeous. If there was an appreciation for this kind of thing, probably I wouldn't need to make art. All right, this is it. We're here. All right, let's get the hell out of here. The original idea with my first figure was to put him in the swamp and to return him as a gift back to the land. And he's been lying here for about 3 or 4 years now, or 5 years. We've got something growing right in here. It looks like maybe it may be a baby, a small tamarack right out of his chest. Fantastic. So I'm just waiting now. We'll see what happens. I have a few places on the land that I never go. They have boundaries that are sort of not real, but imagined. And you know that, with all the horsetail and stuff in here and the different times a year, it's a real tangled thing to try and get into. And I just somehow consciously decided that I was going to leave this a place that was even too, well, not sacred for me to go into, but that you left as a mystery. A place that you left as a mystery.
Down to Earth continues with artist Peter von Tiesenhausen in northwestern Alberta.
The boat image is a recurring image in my work, and I feel that although I've tried to abandon that theme, I can't. I've made boats out of willow, and I've made them out of ice and snow and granite now, and I like the idea of somehow encompassing the idea of time. The ice boats, for example, will last for a day. And the granite boat could last for 20 or 30,000 years. God, it's just like they're lights, eh? They're neon, sort of. Isn't that something? Man, oh man, I'm gonna lay that one down gently, I think. All the trees that come down in this area, I place them so that they come to a convergence at one point, and eventually I see it. I don't know if it'll work or not. It has done actually already, that the mosses will begin to grow in that direction. But one thing it becomes evident to me over having done this now for about 6 years, is this: you just become more aware of what's here. Different seasons that you happen to be here. You do it when you're sort of just killing time and you just a reason to be out in the bush, It's like I need a reason. Again, those purple crazy things, eh? It makes you notice things like that as well, that I actually have never consciously seen before. I think I was about 14, and we had cattle that ranged over the whole, at that time, 1,100 acres. It was my job to check on the cattle. So I got to know this land really well, but it's still full of surprises. This is how you find the boundary of the property. You know, people come to our place now and say, wow, it's a great place you got there. And 20 years ago it was nothing special, but now that everything has been, or not everything, but a lot has been taken down in all directions, it has become a special sort of enclave. And the value is not in money terms, but it's in the spirit. It's what all these living things here have to offer. All these living things of which you are a part. And here we're denying that somehow. It's a real son of a bitch though, isn't it? It's easy to be critical of other people and how they live. It's harder to be compassionate and try to understand, because it's through that compassion that you probably will be able to change the direction somehow by steering the boat rather than being a critical passenger. It's just this room here that's kind of magical. It hasn't changed at all since I was a kid. I love this view from here. This is just a great shot. Beautiful. You see how things age though, right? How this is such a material that shows the time that it's spent here. And with all the time it spends here, it becomes more real. You know, the colors, you could never duplicate those colors. You could never, here we got, you know, scratch marks from either a bear or probably a bear. The log work is just beautiful. I mean, you know, for having stood here for now 70 or 80 years, you know, incredible amount of work. You know, it's all, first of all, it's all hewn flat, round logs, right? Hewn flat. They're drilled and pegged. And this would all be hand drilled, you know, with those hand augers. And then they've chinked it with moss in here, and then mixed the mud and pressed all that in. I mean, just unbelievable amount of work. I see something. It almost looks like writing here. You see it? It says Nyhus. N-Y-H-U-S in here. Nyhus, which was the name of the people that lived here. You know, it's full of these wonderful discoveries. God. You can imagine how much work it was to build a friggin' log cabin. So this is a memorial to my father, who died picking rocks, ironically, on the fields here. It's a major commitment to know that, yeah, you're not going to ravage this place, you're not going to trash it, that you can place your father's ashes around and feel that secure in the thought that you will be able to live with that decision for the rest of your life. Here lie the ashes of Peter von Tiesenhausen, born January 26, 1916, on the land that he loved and worked until the day he died. This cabin I've been building is a place to sort of get away from it all. A place to come and meditate and to think about, you know, or not think maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it. And I've built it out of salvaged logs that were actually too big to be used in a sawmill. It's completely put together without nails or anything. It's all just peg, mortise and tenon construction. I'm not really a log builder, but I appreciate wood. This place has given me insights into life, time, and existence on so many different levels. And I'm completely in awe.